My channel is sponsored by Nordpass, which means we will hear more from them in the middle of the video. Hello everyone, I'm Alana and welcome to my channel, where today I am very excited to be able to show you guys 15 minutes of this particular map of Deathloop, thanks to Bethesda for giving me a code. I've been playing the game for about 5 hours now, and basically I took a bunch of questions from you guys, and I'm gonna play through some of the game while I answer them right now. So if you don't know anything at all about Deathloop, comes out September 15, playing this on PS5, and you basically have to exist in a loop over and over and over again. You can experience the same day on repeat until you are able to kill 8 visionaries. These 8 people must all be killed in the same one day for you to finish the game, I assume. It could be more complicated than that, but that's the task that I have set out right now. In my current loop, I have actually killed 2 people, but it's nighttime, which means I'm out of time. There is no way that I'm going to kill the other 6. And the thing that really appeals to me about this game is trying to figure out how on earth to kill all 8 of them, because there is no way you're going to do it yourself. At least that's what I'm thinking. This is one very big puzzle. I need to figure out a way to take out 2 of them at once to get one of them to kill another one. I can take this person out though. We do this little scan here, tells you, oh, they look drunk.
What?
Boom. This is actually one of the Visionary's weapons. It'll shoot this nice little gas that'll knock people out. And otherwise the gameplay, like, obviously I have this ability that is very much like Dishonored right now. The other one that I have is a link chain ability that will link 2 people together, so whatever happens to this one will also happen to this one. If I do this, probably a bit of a big range there. Should have used a rifle or something, but you get the idea. They both die because one of them died. And now a bunch of people know that I'm here. But that's actually not going to be a problem, which is a very interesting thing about Deathloop, is that the AI really will let you go away. They're not going to find me. They don't find you very easily. And at first I was like, wow, this game's really easy. I feel like I've taken out, or I've killed every single person in a level multiple times. And you can just dip kind of slightly out of the way of the AI. They don't have very good cones of vision, so often you can walk up right next to them and kill them. But it's actually because that grander puzzle that we were just talking about is very difficult. So the difficulty is not in, you know, the individual enemies in any level. It is in the puzzle of how on earth I am supposed to actually kill every single one of these visionaries in a single playthrough. It just seems very difficult. And also, you know, before we get into the questions here, one thing worth pointing out, the gunplay versus Dishonored, which obviously everybody knows Arcane for, is so much better. No, just out here right now. But I mean, if I want to, I can just jump up here, find them and scan them. So if we do this, it'll give me like a little bit of extra detail about them, about what they have on them, all that stuff. I'm just gonna run away from that. Just mow them all down. But yes, that's not the point of the game, and I don't really feel like I can show you the point of game in gameplay right now without spoiling the loop, which they really specifically asked me not to do, so I'm not gonna do that. Ooh, that was quite an explosion. And if I take one of these, I'll get some health back. So, if we die, this is the third ability that I wanted to show you guys here. I just got reset and I go invisible for a moment because of the main ability that Colt, who is our protagonist, has. He can die twice in a day, and then you will get reset to a starting point so that you don't just die once in any given day and then completely fail the rest of the mission for the end of time, which would be a huge bummer. I need to go pick up what is on my body here. We can scan this person, see what they got on them. They're wary. Thinks today will be uneventful. Standard kit. Well, all your friends are dead, so how'd that work out for you? So see, these people are like kind of tagging me right now. They're all very close to me. I'm just gonna do this and they're all just gonna be gone. There are hacking abilities as well. If I come up here, there'll be a little turret around here that I could hack. And there are a ton of safes for you to crack. A load of codes that will randomize each time that you need to find to be able to enter things, as an example of how the codes generally look. So you can just autofill to open one of your many doors. But we're not going to do that. I'm going to stick out here for you guys right now. Michaela Crystal said, in Dishonored, you could go through the entire game without being spotted and with alternative options for dealing with major opponents without killing them. Is it still possible in Deathloop? No. You do have to kill, in order to stop the loop, you have to kill the 8 visionaries. They have to die. I'm sure there are different ways to kill them, different things that I have not done yet. That's, you know, again, the puzzle that we're trying to figure out here is exactly how to do that. I'm just going to hack one of these right now. There we go. And you can do that, and now it'll shoot anyone that goes past, which is pretty handy. Benjamin, and obviously a whole bunch of other people asked, is it a lot like Dishonored? I mean, it's pretty clearly like Dishonored just from what you're looking at right now, I would think. You know, it's, I'm going to jump on this pipe, and then I'm going to crawl through a window here, or I'm going to use Blink to get on this rooftop. So, yeah, it's going to look a lot like Dishonored. However, tonally, way different. This game is super stylish, kind of jazzy in vibe. It's very different feel to Dishonored. And the gameplay feels really different too. So you have access to these different levels that are all mini sandboxes. I've explored this one pretty thoroughly, though I haven't done it at every time of day. There are 4 different times of day. The maps are all different at different times of day. But the purpose is really to revisit these little sandboxes over and over, find as much information as you can, find different tidbits. Once you have one piece of information from one level, go to another level and see if that can connect something there. See if you can find out about a relationship between 2 of the visionaries, to see if you can get them together at some point so that you'll be able to figure out the exact timing needed to murder every single one of them. And I don't know, but I sort of suspect that there will be an exact order. Maybe there'll be multiple, but it feels like, you know, when I started playing, I was like, oh, this is going to require me to be so specific. It feels like you may have to figure out the perfect order. It is time to talk about Nordpass. If you didn't already know, Nordpass is a password manager. It helps you organize your passwords and secure notes, keeping them all in a single place, an encrypted password vault. With Nordpass, you can shop online with ease. It remembers all of your credit card details. You can also share passwords securely. No more password sharing over email, messenger apps, or pieces of paper. One of my favorite features, because it's something that I can be very forgetful about, is password health. You use password health to check if your passwords are weak, older than 90 days, or used for several accounts to make sure that you are keeping yourself secure across the board at all times. Nordpass also has a data breach scanner, so you can find out if your online account or credit card information has been leaked somewhere, and it helps you stay safe online overall. In my opinion and in my experience, Nordpass just gives me such a comforting sense of security and keeps all of the information that I really need to be kept secure. So, as part of the So Long Summer Sale, get 74% off Nordpass at nordpass.com/Alana, plus you get 4 additional months for free. That is nordpass.com/Alana, and if you want to find that link more easily, you can also check it in the top of the description box. Now back to the video. I'm gonna go stealth kill this person to show you what that looks like. Pretty basic stuff, and they all obviously have masks on and they disappear when they die, but those little smoke things they leave behind, other enemies will still come and investigate. Joel Sonics asks, is there a timer on levels? No, there is no timer once you enter a level, which I thought was very interesting. I was worried about that. But once you enter a level, you can spend as long in the level as you want, you can do whatever you want, investigate whatever you want. And I do recommend doing that. I would actually say when you first start jumping into the game, get through the levels fast to get acquainted with the mechanics and how everything works. But once you get a little bit further, all of my weapons right now, by the way, I have them permanently, just for context. It's not a roguelike. There is a currency system, which I think is pretty neat, that is actually related to, I think we just passed. So this is Residium. It'll appear as like these little kind of rifts in the world. I currently have 2,000. When you exit any level, you will get a menu where you can choose where to allocate your Residium, and say this weapon that I currently have cost me 8,000 Residium. Using that means that every time that I die, I will spawn with this gun again, and I'm a very big fan of this gun, so you can't keep everything that you have. You have a pretty limited inventory anyway. I think these are all the weapons, at least for now. Maybe there'll be some upgrades in the future that I'm allowed to have. You can see the, I think they're called weapon trinkets that I have attached there. Mind Leech, Straight Shooter, Crack Shot. These are both very fun guns. But you can keep them. But yes, the levels themselves will finish either when you die or when you choose to leave them. The timer exists in that there are, like I said, 4 times of day, and you can only go to 1 level each time of day. So you can visit 4 levels in a day. In theory, if I wanted to, I could visit this specific map 4 times and see how it's different every single time, and I'm sure there will be people who play it that way. But it's really like coming to this map, figuring out what information it tells me about what other people are doing. This is going to be another Residium. Or Residum, I guess it's called. I just keep calling it Residium. Finding out where some of the people you need to find and kill are at different points in the game, and then going to track them down and putting all these pieces together. And like I said, I've played about 5 hours, and I don't even feel like I'm close. I feel like there is a giant puzzle still ahead of me, but that I'm definitely getting better, that I have some abilities that I like, that I've leveled up this one actually. I killed the same person twice to get this chain link ability, so that I could also upgrade it. So I definitely feel like my cult, the character, has gotten cooler, but that's where the timer exists, is in figuring out who is where and why. So there are a lot of questions about open world, and I feel like that answers it pretty well. It's not an open world game, there are just these 4 sandboxes. And again, maybe there could end up being more, but as far as I'm aware, only 4. Phoenix Valkyrian asked, related to that, does a loop mechanic ever get repetitive or frustrating? I have not felt that way at all. I've actually never unintentionally died on a loop. I feel like it'll get frustrating if in the long run, I can't figure out what I need to do or how to solve this giant puzzle that's ahead of me, but I'm not at that point yet. And I can't show you this part of the menu, but it functions kind of similar to Hitman, where you get leads. So as I'm exploring these levels and I'm finding stuff and I'm looking at pieces of paper and I'm looking through terminals, I'm like, oh, this person talks to this person at this time, this person's doing this, I should investigate this, and then you can go and explore those things. So it does feel like I have a very long list of things that I still can currently do. So at this stage, not frustrating at all. I'm just super curious, super excited. I'm very, very into this conceptually. Foxy Hound Employee said, what are you hoping they improve in this build that you're playing for the final product? Performance would be my big thing. I've had the game freeze a number of times and some pretty bad frame rate drops, and I've had a bug where I get stuck in the menu and I have to hard close the game and open it up again. That's the only thing that I want them to change. I do feel like some of the writing in the game can be a little bit obnoxious, but it suits the style and it also suits the era. You know, it's set in the 60s. People are all about partying in this universe. That's the circumstance that they're in, and the world building definitely lends to that. There's a really specific reason why these people are in this loop, and I think the lore is all very cool as well. Chris Holloway said, is it story-based? Like, the cool mechanics and gameplay all centered around the story, or the other way around? Yeah, it is super story-based. David asks, is stealth an actual viable option in the game? Absolutely yes. You can definitely stealth your way through, and in some cases, without any spoilers, you will have to, or you will fail certain things, or certain things will be triggered that will prevent you from learning more information or getting through to someone. Bango asked, how many loop? I think the game, you actually can find out like kind of what loop they're on and how many there have been, in a way that, again, I'm into the story, I think is very fun. But I believe the game will loop for as long as it needs to until you finish it. You will play the same day. It's not the same day for you, it's the same day for everyone else, over and over and over again, until you figure out how you're going to kill all of these 8 people in just 4 different times of day. Okay, so I'm only allowed to show you guys 15 minutes of gameplay, so I thought that I would jump to the start of this level. So this is basically the very early morning of the same level, Carl's Bay. And things do look different. These texts, by the way, I don't actually know who's written them, but they change. I think I wrote them somehow. I don't know how. I see what I mean about, you know, their vision being pretty poor. You can get pretty damn close to the front of them and still manage to take them out pretty easily. Because that's not the point. If they were really hard to kill, I think the game would be very frustrating to play. Solid Snape said, do you feel like any playstyle is favored over another? For example, a certain level is clearly more designed for stealth while others are designed for combat. No, I would say the levels are pretty similarly designed. I mean, they look very different. You know, even at different times of day, some of them can look completely different. And within the levels, there are things that look very different. But I don't feel like there are really specifically different play styles, or not in any way that's super obvious to me, within the levels themselves. I have to avoid that because it can make me cough as well. See? It got me. Get out of here. Most of the other questions here I either don't know the answers to, or it's people just asking me if it's worth it. And I always feel like I can't answer that question. Like, Do I think it's worth it for you to buy? Without knowing you as a human, I really don't feel equipped to answer that question. I don't know your taste in games, I don't know what kind of things you like. If you like a puzzle game and you love a sense of discovery in a video game, I would think that you're going to really like Deathloop. I do also feel like if you didn't like Dishonored previously because some of the gameplay was off-putting to you for whatever reason, you're not going to feel that way about Deathloop. It's a lot sharper, it's a lot shootier, it's a lot faster. Like I said, you don't have to be anywhere near as meticulous with the stealth or anything like that. And it is a much flashier, more fancy, more stylish game. I think it's very good. I was very excited about it, and it has lived up to my expectations. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me today, everyone. That's all I'm allowed to show you, and I feel like a lot of the questions I got were pretty similar, but if I missed anything that I can answer, you know, feel free to ask questions, and I will try to get to them if they're in the comments. But I'm very into this game, very excited about, you know, everyone else getting their hands on it and seeing how people tackle it, and I really do want to urge you, because of how big this puzzle feels, to not spoil it for yourselves. Don't look up a walkthrough, don't watch streams, try to avoid all of that stuff as a game that you, like me, are excited about, because it will be so much better. That is it for me today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!